Hi students, നമ്മൾ ഇന്ന് ചെയ്യാൻ പോകുന്നത് ഡബിൾ ഇൻറ്റഗ്രൽസ് ഇൻ പോളാർ ഫോം എന്ന സെക്ഷനാണ്. നമ്മൾ ഇതുവരെ കണ്ട ഡബിൾ ഇൻറ്റഗ്രൽസ് എല്ലാം റെക്റ്റാങ്കുലർ കോർഡിനേറ്റ്സിലായിരുന്നു. ഇനി നമുക്കൊരു പോളാർ റീജിയൻ തന്നിട്ടുണ്ട്, അവിടെ പോളാർ ഫോമിലുള്ള ഒരു ഫംഗ്ഷൻ തന്നിട്ടുണ്ടെന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ അവിടെ എങ്ങനെയാണ് ഇൻറ്റഗ്രേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുക ഫംഗ്ഷന്, അതാണ് നമ്മൾ ഡിസ്കസ് ചെയ്യാൻ പോകുന്നത്. സോ സപ്പോസ് f of r comma theta is a continuous function defined over a polar region r. So how r looks like? So r is like this. It is bounded by two rays, theta equal to alpha and theta equal to beta, and by two continuous curves, r equal to g1 of theta and r2 equal to g2 of theta. So let us go to the figure, then only you can understand better. So let us go to the figure in the next slide. Yes. So this is your r over which the function f of r comma theta is defined. This region lies in the polar plane. This is the pole, and this is the ray theta equal to alpha, and this is the ray theta equal to beta. You know theta equal to constant. They are rays in the polar plane. For example, theta equal to 0 is the initial line or the x-axis. Theta equal to pi by 2 is the y-axis, like this. So theta equal to alpha, that is given by this line. Theta equal to beta, that is given by this line. Now you have two other continuous curves. So this is r equal to g1 of theta, a function of theta, and this is r equal to g2 of theta, another function of theta. Your function is defined in this region r. Now what I do is I cover r by another region q, like this. So let us go to the previous slide. R lies in a fan-shaped region q defined by the inequalities 0 less than or equal to r less than or equal to a, and alpha less than or equal to theta less than or equal to beta. So what it says is, what is r equal to a? R equal to a is a circle centered at the pole and radius a. So this is r equal to a. This circle is r equal to a. And what is r equal to 0? It is the circle centered at the pole and radius equal to 0. That means this point itself. So r lies in this fan-shaped region determined by 0 less than or equal to r less than or equal to a, and alpha less than or equal to theta less than or equal to beta. Okay, we'll go to the previous slide. We also assume that g1 of theta less than or equal to g2 of theta, and g2 of theta less than or equal to a, then only we can cover r by the region q. g1 of theta is this, which is less than or equal to g2 of theta for all theta. Okay, now what we do is we cover q by a grid of circular arcs and rays as in figure. So what did I do? I draw lines theta equal to constant, theta equal to constant, theta equal to constant, theta equal to constant, etc. Then I draw lines r equal to constant, r equal to constant, r equal to constant, and so on. So you will get this kind of grid which will cover the whole of Q. And take a typical such polar rectangle. These kind of areas are known as polar rectangles. These are not actually rectangles, these are actually polar rectangles. So we cover cube by a grid of circular arcs and rays as in figure, and the arcs and rays partition Q into small patches called polar rectangles. So this is what we have done so far. Now what I do is I take such a typical polar rectangle, then take the midpoint. So let RK, theta k be the midpoint of the kth polar rectangle AK. That means essentially you are numbering these polar rectangles in some order, A1, A2, A3, etc. And actually you are ignoring polar rectangles that do not lie completely inside R. For example, this polar rectangle do not lie completely inside R. So you can ignore this. You can call this as A1, this as A2, A3. We can ignore this because this polar rectangle do not lie completely inside R. This polar rectangle also you can ignore, and so on. Then you come to this polar rectangle, this, etc. So take the kth polar rectangle, let it be AK, and let delta AK be the area of the kth polar rectangle. And this point I have chosen as the midpoint of this AK. So that's what this is. Number the polar rectangles that lie inside R in some order, and let RK, theta k be the midpoint in the kth polar rectangle AK, whose area is denoted as delta AK. Okay. Now we form the sum as in the rectangular case. Here in the polar case also we consider the Riemann sum denoted by Sn. So Sn equal to sigma k equal to 1 to n f of Rk, theta k delta AK. The value of f evaluated at the point Rk, theta k multiplied by the area of the kth rectangle. Okay. Now if f is continuous on R, then we can show that Sn approaches a finite limit as n tends to infinity. N tends to infinity means the partition rectangles becomes more and more. That means the mesh comes smaller and smaller. Mesh means area of the rectangles, polar rectangles. It comes smaller and smaller. In that case, this Sn approaches a finite limit, and that limit is called the double integral of f over capital R. Here there is a mistake, it must be capital R. Thus, double integral over R f of r, theta dA equal to limit n tends to infinity Sn, where Sn is given by this formula. So this is the definition of double integral of a function defined over a polar region R. Okay, now this definition doesn't tell you how to evaluate an integral. So for evaluation purpose, we need some more computations. So we compute the area of the kth polar rectangle AK. So recall what is the formula for sectorial area? It is half r square theta. So what is meant by sectorial area? What is meant by sector? Let us go to the figure again. Okay, this portion is called a sector. This portion is called a sector, and the sectorial area is half r square theta. So what is r? It is the radius of this sector, and theta is the angle subtended by this sector. So half r square theta is the sectorial area. Now I want to compute the area of this kth rectangle AK. Remember, this RK theta K is midpoint of AK. Now, when I construct these grids by drawing lines theta equal to constants and r equal to constants, I follow a certain rule. So what is that rule? See, this is theta equal to alpha and this is theta equal to beta. So the total angle subtended is beta minus alpha. So divide it into n portions or m portions, say. So then you can have beta minus alpha divided by m, number of such rays theta equal to constants you can draw inside this cube. Okay, so if this is alpha, then this angle is theta equal to alpha plus delta theta. This angle is alpha theta equal to alpha plus 2 delta theta, and so on, like that. So what is delta theta? Delta theta is precisely beta minus alpha divided by n. Okay. Similarly, when you draw these circles r equal to constants, there also you follow a certain rule. So what is that rule? This is r equal to 0 and this is r equal to a. So look at a by n, and that is your delta r. So this circle is of radius delta r, this circle is of radius twice of that, that means 2 times delta r. This circle is of radius 3 times delta r, and so on. Fine? Okay, now come here. RK theta k, that is the midpoint of the kth rectangle AK. Now I want to compute the area of this kth rectangle, polar rectangle AK. So area of kth polar rectangle AK equal to area of this bigger sector minus area of this smaller sector. Understand? You subtract from this area, so you will get this area, the shaded portion. So what is the area of the bigger sector? It is half into radius square into this angle. So what is radius here in this case? So the radius is measured from here. So it is RK plus something more. So what is that? It is delta R divided by 2, because this much distance is delta R. So half of that is delta R divided by 2. So area of the bigger sector is half into RK plus delta R divided by 2, the whole square, into delta theta. Now what is the area of the smaller sector? So what is the radius of the smaller sector? It is RK minus delta R divided by 2. So area of the smaller sector is half into radius square rk minus delta r divided by 2 whole square into the angle subtended delta theta. Hope you understood. So area of the kth polar rectangle AK, namely delta AK equal to area of the large sector minus area of the small sector, equal to half into rk plus delta r divided by 2 whole square into delta theta minus half into rk minus delta r divided by 2 whole square into delta theta. Half and delta theta you can take out, so you will get this expression. You simplify, so rk square minus rk square gets cancelled, then delta r square divided by 4, delta r square divided by 4, that also gets cancelled, and what is remaining is 2 times rk into delta divided by 2 plus again 2 times rk into delta divided by 2. So 4 times rk into delta divided by 2, which is 2 rk times delta r, and this 2 and this 2 gets cancelled, and the remaining is rk delta r delta theta. That is the area of the kth polar rectangle AK. Now putting this value in Sn, we will get Sn is equal to sigma k equal to 1 to n f of rk comma theta k into delta ak becomes rk delta r delta theta. So this is the Riemann sum. Now we are going to use Fubini's theorem in polar form, which I have not stated formally. So roughly it says this: the double integral over a polar region can be evaluated in terms of the iterated integrals. So first is integration with respect to r, then integration with respect to theta. So instead of dA, what I have here is r delta theta. dA will be r delta theta. That is what Fubini's theorem says. Remember, in Cartesian coordinates, dA was dx into dy. But here, dA is not just dr into d theta, it is actually r into dr into d theta. So dA is r into dr into d theta. Remember, dA is r dr d theta. So this is what Fubini's theorem says in polar coordinates. Now we will go to a particular case. Suppose f of r comma theta is identically equal to 1. F of r comma theta is identically equal to 1. Then double integral over r dA. It will represent the area of the polar region R, because f of r comma theta, that will essentially give you the height, but when the height is equal to 1, then volume is equal to area numerically. That's what. So when f of r comma theta is equal to 1, double integral over r f of r comma theta dA becomes double integral over r dA which is the area and which can be computed using this formula double integral over r. dA is r dr d theta. Hope you understand. We will go to the examples in the next video.